We all know that the quarterback is the most important position on the football field. NFL teams will win or lose based on the guy under center. A great quarterback means that your team is never truly out of a game, but a bad quarterback can set your franchise back for years. Just ask the Browns, Dolphins, and Cardinals. As we get ready for the start of the 2026 NFL season, let's take a look at where each division ranks, from best to worst, based on their starting quarterbacks. AFC West. If you're looking for an NFL division with the best overall starting quarterback groups, look no further than the AFC West. 3 of the 4 teams possess Pro Bowl caliber quarterbacks who are all capable of leading their teams to a Super Bowl title. And then there's the Raiders. And is there really need to go into what Patrick Mahomes brings to the table? The accolades are aplenty for this future Hall of Fame quarterback. Pro Bowls, MVPs, 3 Super Bowl titles, and intangibles that very few have. Simply put, if you were starting a team and could have any current QB, Mahomes would be most people's top choice. Bo Nix led the Broncos to within 1 game of a Super Bowl berth, defeating the favored Bills in the process. Perhaps if Nix wasn't injured in that overtime playoff victory over Buffalo, perhaps it'd be Denver hoisting the Lombardi Trophy. Based on last year, though, it won't be long until Nix is hoisting one. Justin Herbert has all the tools needed to succeed in the NFL, but injuries, inconsistent play, and uneven Chargers teams have led to him frustrating fans. This offseason, Los Angeles brought in Mike McDaniel as the new offensive coordinator. So while McDaniel was not exactly a good head coach, he is great at drawing up offensive schemes that should highlight Herbert's strengths. The one weak team here is, well, the Raiders. Las Vegas is rebuilding and could go 2 ways at QB this year. Rookie Fernando Mendoza or veteran Kirk Cousins. While the Raiders have holes all over their lineup, Cousins will elevate the QB play in the division this year, while Mendoza will elevate the team in a few years. NFC North. The NFC North might be the NFL division with the fiercest rivalries in the game. Yeah, I know that every division has rivalries, but the Bears, Packers, Vikings, and Lions are all just blood rivalries. That rivalry also extends to the quarterbacks in the division. Jared Goff seems to have finally found himself as a player when he was traded to the Lions. Since arriving in the Motor City, Goff has led the Lions into contention, guiding the team to 2 playoff appearances, but also throwing for over 4,400 yards in each of the last 4 seasons. After finally being named the starting quarterback for the 2023 season, Jordan Love has led the Packers to 3 straight playoff appearances. His ability to move in the pocket, throw on the run, and strong arm allows Love to thrive in today's NFL. Unfortunately, the Packers have not surrounded him with an adequate enough talent. But hey, that doesn't take away what Love is capable of doing. In just 2 seasons, Caleb Williams and the Bears went from 5-12 to 11-6 and a trip to the NFC divisional round. Last season, Williams delighted fans by throwing for almost 4,000 yards with 27 touchdowns and only 7 interceptions. After last season, it seems like the young Chicago quarterback is on the verge of stardom. The unknown in this division lies in Minnesota, where the Vikings will choose between J.J. McCarthy, who was disappointing in 10 starts last season, or Kyler Murray, the guy who Arizona is currently paying a $46.5 million cap hit to get him off their roster. Regardless of who the Vikings choose, neither of them makes fans feel comfortable. Sure, they got talent, but they haven't been able to utilize it or stay healthy long enough to show it. NFC East. Currently sitting 3rd on our list, the NFC East has the potential to move up a ranking by the end of the season if things break right in DC and New York. First is Washington quarterback Jaden Daniels. When he's healthy, and if he is healthy, can he replicate his breakout 2024 season? Because in that rookie season, Daniels threw for over 3,500 yards with 25 touchdowns, leading the Commanders to a 12-5 record and an appearance in the NFC Championship game. We know what he's capable of, as long as he can return to full health. In New York, can Jackson Dart improve on his rookie season? Although he didn't win often, finishing with a 4-8 record, that was more a statement on just how bad the Giants were last year and not exactly on the quarterback. In fact, Dart finished the season with a 63.7 completion percentage, which was enough to convince the Giants that Dart is the future. Elsewhere, Jalen Hurts looks to bring Philly back to the Super Bowl. While the 28-year-old has shown signs of decline after the last 2 seasons, he's still a threat anytime he takes to the field. Hurts is an accurate passer who can also run. While he isn't a 1,000-yard rushing threat, he typically will rush for double-digit touchdowns, especially with the tush push. Dak Prescott might frustrate the Dallas fan base, but The reality is that he's a very, very good quarterback, and they will miss him when he's finally done playing. While he hasn't won one yet, he is capable of putting up MVP caliber numbers. I mean, heck, look at his 2021 and 2023 seasons. Recently, the Cowboys might not have had the same team success as the Eagles, but hey, Prescott might be just the best QB in that division, at least in the regular season. AFC North. While the AFC North is technically ranked 4th, they almost could have been tied with the NFC East. I think the quarterbacks in these two divisions are just that even. However, there were two factors that led us to place them just a little bit lower here. We'll get to that in a bit. At the top of the division is Lamar Jackson and Joe Burrow. Jackson has been the guy in Baltimore since 2018 and is an absolute stud at QB. He's the best dual-threat quarterback in the game today, as he's capable of throwing for 4,000 yards and rushing for 1,000 yards in the same season. Heck, he almost did in 2024. Without a doubt, Jackson is one of the best players today. Joe Burrow's biggest issue is staying on the field, as he's missed games in 3 out of his 6 pro seasons. However, when that man is healthy, Burrow has all the tools to be one of the best passers in the NFL today, as evidenced by his surpassing 4,400 passing yards in each of his 3 healthy years. And now, for our 2 factors. Soon-to-be 43-year-old Aaron Rodgers will return to another season in Pittsburgh, and while he played well enough last season, it was pretty clear that he had lost a step or two. There's no doubt that his skills will be a tad more in decline in 2026. Only question is, how much? And then we got Cleveland, the worst run franchise in the entire league. They entered the 2026 season with the selections of Shedeur Sanders or Deshaun Watson under center. For a variety of reasons, Watson hasn't suited up since the 2024 season and only played in 7 games that season. If he does get the job, how much can one truly expect from him? The other option, Shedeur Sanders, who only played 7 games in his rookie season, is not exactly an impressive choice. So, it is those 2 questions in Cleveland and Pittsburgh that lower this group's ranking. NFC West. Alright, we're probably going to get raked over the coals for putting the NFC West quarterbacks this low, but yeah, the Seahawks won the Super Bowl last year, but let me tell you, it wasn't because of Sam Darnold. It was because the Seahawks have one of, if not the best built rosters in the entire NFL. Now, that's not to say that Darnold is a bad QB, far from it. It's just that he's not elite. Last season, he threw 25 touchdowns but had 14 interceptions. Los Angeles Rams QB Matt Stafford, however, is definitely elite. You see, in 2025, he took home AP MVP honors while leading the league with 4,707 passing yards and 47 touchdowns. He's won 1 Super Bowl, almost took the Rams to 1 last year, and will probably win another before his Hall of Fame career concludes. Brock Purdy has the potential to be great, but he, and honestly that whole team, needs to stay healthy, as he's missed games in all but 1 of his 4 years in the league. When he's healthy, he has shown enough skill to win. But unfortunately, he doesn't have elite arm strength, and again, he has a lot of issues with health. But what he does have is a good pocket presence and an accurate arm. Heck, he's got a career completion percentage of 67.9. Arizona remains a question mark at quarterback, as they have a 3-way battle in 2026 for the starting quarterback job. In this corner is veteran Jacoby Brissett. In this corner is veteran Gardner Minshew. And in another corner is rookie Carson Beck. Beck is currently an NFL unknown, and while Brissett and Minshew have experience, there's a reason that they've bounced around the league. AFC South. Alright, I'll say this for the starting quarterbacks of the AFC South. They're not as bad as the final 2 teams on our list. By all accounts, Trevor Lawrence had a pretty dang good season in 2025, throwing for over 4,000 yards with 29 touchdowns and leading the Jaguars to a 13-4 record before losing in the wildcard round. Yet, while people seem to be jumping on the Lawrence bandwagon, a deeper look at last year's numbers reveals some major issues. His 12 interceptions show that he still makes far too many mistakes, and his 60.9 completion percentage ranked 30th in the league. Houston has one of the best defenses in the league, which takes the pressure off the offense to score. That's a good thing, as CJ Stroud seems to be regressing before our very eyes. His passing yards and touchdowns per season have declined each of the last 3 seasons, and while some of that might be attributed to injury, it also brings his durability into question. The best thing to say about Daniel Jones is that he's inconsistent. He began to blossom in 2025 until he tore his Achilles tendon, and it's still unclear if he'll be 100% healthy for 2026, and which Daniel Jones will even show up, the pre-injury budding star or the flop with the Giants. And finally, we got Cam Ward, who's just a little too green to be fairly evaluated. He threw for over 3,900 yards, but only had a 59.8 completion percentage, which ranks him 33rd third in the league. Part of the issue is that the Panthers are currently rebuilding. So let's check back in Carolina in a couple of years. AFC East. Looking at the starting quarterbacks in the AFC East reveals a tale of the haves and have-nots. Two teams are stacked at the quarterback position, while the other two are, well, in pretty bad shape. The Buffalo Bills possess one of the game's best QBs in Josh Allen. While the Bills have not reached their ultimate goal of winning a Super Bowl, Allen has led the team to the playoffs in each of the last 7 seasons, winning 5 AFC East titles and the 2024 AP MVP award. Over those last 7 seasons, Buffalo had little intra-division competition, but now there's another stud QB in the division. Patriots signal caller Drake May. In just his second season in 2025, May finally arrived, leading New England to a 14-3 record and a trip to the Super Bowl. Even though the Pats lost to a superior Seattle team, May and the Patriots look like a team that'll be competitive for many years to come. Alright, so we've now covered the cream of the crop of the AFC East. Now let's take a look at the Drakes. Miami decided to cut Tua Tagovailoa and absorb one of the largest salary cap hits in NFL history just to get rid of him. The rebuilding Dolphins will start the season with Malik Willis under center, and while he has flashed skill in a limited role in Green Bay, the Fins are in complete disarray. So, good luck to him there. Finally, Justin Fields returns for his second season in New York. But let's be honest, does anyone think that he'll actually improve on his 2-7 season last year? No, I don't, and you shouldn't either. In 53 career starts for the Bears, Steelers, and Jets, Fields has a record of 16-37. So, 2 top QBs and 2 bottom feeders mean that the AFC East has one of the worst quarterback groups in the NFL, but not quite the worst. NFC South. Without a doubt, the NFC South is the worst division in the NFL, and as such, they are the worst quarterback group in the league. Seriously, not one team in the division finished with a record above 500 last year. But let's start off with the best quarterbacks in the worst group. First up, Baker Mayfield. The Bucs QB will be entering his 9th year in the league, and he has not lived up to his status as a first overall draft pick. He has made 3 trips to the playoffs, but with a 2-3 record, he has not had much success. In fact, Mayfield might be one of the most frustrating QBs in the game, as he has the ability, but just hasn't been really that consistent. The Falcons enter the season with a QB battle between Michael Penix, who has been disappointing in his first 2 seasons, and Tua Tagovailoa, who the Dolphins decided it would be better to absorb a $99.2 million cap hit to get rid of him. Then in New Orleans, Tyler Shuck, who made 9 starts for the Saints last year, finishing with a 5-4 record. While Shuck certainly has potential, the Saints are heading towards a rebuild. With a changing roster, the young signal caller might take several years before showing what he can really do. 4th-year QB Bryce Young flashed his ability last year in Carolina and might have the most upside of the group. With a few more key pieces added around him, Young has the potential to lead the Panthers back to contending status. But right now, that's not the case. But hey, what division do you think has the worst set of QBs? Do you agree with our selections? Let us know in the comment section below. If you liked this video and learned a thing or two, then clicking the like button helps us out a ton. And you know, we really appreciate it. If this is your first time coming around to TPS though, then subscribing is a great idea, because we put out videos like this every single day. But as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.